Okay, so this is something that I never thought I'd be talking about in the VTubing space, but essentially it's come out recently where there's been a little bit of a, I don't know, viral post, I guess, referring to one website which some person found rock solid here, who obviously posts a lot of different stuff, especially a couple things to do with VTubers every now and again. And he found a website that essentially, tracks, VTubers' ovulation and menstrual cycles. Yeah, it's gotten that bad, right? And obviously it is very weird and very, very odd. And yeah, it's, again, there's been a lot of different reactions. And I think this is one of these situations where there's going to be a big mixed reaction to this because obviously, many people, obviously it's all female streamers. They're all going to, a lot of them feel weirded out by it. A lot of them want their stuff removed from the website. Some people just find it funny as a joke. Again, it is a real mixed bag and it depends on how they feel about, certain things, which I think, they're all valid in terms of, whatever they feel about this. Some people find it weird, but find it funny at the same time. Some people find it just weird and they're creeped out and they never want this to happen to them. But again, it seems like, this has been a pretty widespread thing as this poster has come out here. And obviously they've been going into a couple of VTubers and stuff. And many VTubers have also been responding, including like Feifei, Ririgaki. And yeah, it seems like some people here, people saying this is beyond creepy. Now let's get into some of the quote tweets because there's been some pretty big VTubers which have responded to this kind of stuff, including squchan here, who obviously says, you guys think you're so slick, but y'all are inaccurate AF. And yeah, we'll go into exactly how this works as well, because you might be wondering, how is someone able to track all of this stuff whenever they don't know the VTuber personally, and is it actually accurate? Because obviously, squchan saying, hey, this is inaccurate, you think you're slick, which again, you got like chibidoki here also responding, just saying, huh? Because it is such a random and weird kind of thing to kind of come out recently, right? I just, I never expected to be talking about anything like this because a VTuber ovulation tracker is crazy, right? And they're saying stuff like banana juju here saying people, we have a male/female loneliness epidemic, also people, which is this, which again is pretty interesting. And obviously, you got people like Mincy here who also commented saying, so I don't think I want to, on this planet anymore, which again, it seems like she has also been added to this, which obviously is pretty crazy. A lot of people saying it's an entire website dedicated to it. You got Elio here saying this is way too accurate. I'm actually impressed. And here you go. They've got like an entire like chart and stuff with the VTuber's name and their, obviously links and stuff. And then they've got like a calendar pretty much tracking every single little thing about, their periods and stuff, which I think is absolutely crazy. People saying someone favorited your ovulation times, says I didn't even notice that. So again, there are people actually favoriting this and adding it to something. Again, I don't exactly know what the point is to this. Is it just a weird kind of, I don't know. I don't know what the kind of, outcome would be for someone, why they would really want to know this kind of information. But again, obviously, it seems like someone has gone deep enough to actually, create something like this, which again is extremely weird and odd. And it's crazy, right? There's been more people as well saying, how in God's name could you possibly know theirs? Which again, this features a lot of VTubers. It features a lot of indie VTubers, as we've seen, like Mincy and stuff, and so many other people as well commenting on it, squchan as well. But also it's covering a lot of agency VTubers as well, including Fuamoko, which is crazy. And they're saying, how in God's name could you possibly know theirs? And we essentially go into as to why, they know theirs, which again, this is one of the things that's come up. This one is apparently Mint's page, which again, still very, very odd, but they say this is not good evidence, help. And essentially the source that they use is Twitter. They use Twitter and different announcements and things like that whenever it comes to breaks and things. And I think it is pretty crazy. And obviously it is pretty wildly inaccurate too. Sometimes they might get it, they might hit the nail on the head, right? Because, it could line up. But they're essentially taking any kind of Twitter post saying that they're feeling ill or that they're taking medicine or that they're taking a break or whatever. and they're essentially taking that as, oh, okay, it's that time of the month. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of crazy, right? People say Matara tried to kill me again, picture of blood, which again, that's crazy that was even a source. Like what? So she can send 0, more like anomaly 0, currently laying down because of my tummy, but thank you for stream. So yeah, obviously they're like associating tummy aches and headaches and things like that as like a kind of, I guess, because obviously nobody's going to say like, oh, you know, you know, I'm on my period and whatever, I'm going to be taking a break or whatever. They usually say, I've got a headache, I've got a tummy ache, I've got something, so I'm not going to be streaming. But obviously this website is finding any kind of tweet that is saying that and essentially putting it together and yeah, kind of assuming that is the case when they could genuinely have a headache or a tummy ache or whatever, right? Which again, I think is crazy, right? You got Parrot as well saying, I knew there was some anons that were keeping track of their Oshi cycles. I didn't know one decided to start tracking everyone's, which is, yeah, crazy. Because again, you can see these are some of they got like a trending page for the most popular VTubers, right? You got Iris and Fuwa and, you know, Mari and Cleo and like, you know, squchan and Mint and, you know, it bails. It's crazy, right? It's crazy that this is even like a thing, that someone has actually gone through the effort of doing this, coding this, and obviously putting it on a website, and that people are actually interacting with this, right? Because people have got favorites. I don't think it's a super popular website, don't get me wrong. And again, I don't know what, you know, it is, but essentially they say, yeah, favorites 5. So there's only 5 people that have favorited that, which makes me think that it's not an exactly well visited website or anything, which I guess is a good thing about that at the end of the day. And obviously it seems like you know, Rock Solid has found this, you know, stumbled upon it, and yeah, now it's become a pretty yeah, big thing. You got people like Bonnie Barkswell as well saying, excuse me, there's a website for tracking my menstrual cycle, which again is crazy. They're saying this is doing the rounds, so I'll clarify something. I think this is funny and I'm okay with my community doing this, but from replies and quotes it's clear that there are still some people who are uncomfortable. If you're a fan wanting to track your Oshi, I think it's polite to ask them first. That being said, I'm in a bad mood today and I'm craving sour gummies. You're welcome. Which obviously, you know, obviously saying something about that. But again, I think it is one of these cases, right, where there's going to be a big kind of, I guess, gap in terms of people that are okay with it, people that aren't okay with it. But I think at the end of the day, you really need to, again, you know, Bonnie's saying, hey, you know, ask them. But even asking someone, hey, could I track this? It is still very, very odd, right, to do that. And I don't even know why you'd want to do that. But again, as I said, some people like Bonnie are fine with it. But you know, some people are definitely not so fine with it. For example, like Shakai here saying, whoever added me into this shit, whoever made this website, you're such a piece of shit and I hope you break your bones. Why would you learn to coding to create such a messed up website? It's creepy. Seek therapy, you freak. It's so disrespectful towards women. Can't grown-ass men rather touch grass than make women's life miserable? Now, again, I don't know if it's a man or a woman who made this website. Hey, maybe it was a woman. You never know. But again, obviously, you know, the assumptions and whatever fly out. We don't know who made this website or who is the owner of it, but it is creepy either way, right? People saying, oh, also it's not accurate for me, I take the pill, so it happens when I want it to happen. They're saying site's down now, it looks like. So again, it seems like this site is no longer up, and probably some people reported it, with many people being unhappy with, you know, this being up and this being kind of, yeah, a public thing, which I do think, you know, it's fair enough. I think it is extremely weird and extremely creepy. As I said, I don't know why someone would want to know, like, you know, sure, like, if you wanted to know in terms of, like, I guess, you know, when they're going to go on a break or maybe not stream for a couple of days, sure, but like, just wait for the announcement, right? I think it's really that, you know, you don't need to start tracking them and doing this kind of stuff. It's weird. It is extremely weird. It's just so creepy. You got people like Kitsu as well, you know, saying, you know, bro, what? And then putting down here saying, also it's slightly wrong, so take that, idiot who's tracking this. So it seems like not all of these are fully accurate, which I guess is a good thing, because obviously if it was more accurate, it could present a big problem for a lot of people, right? But yeah, obviously, as I said, very, very mixed reaction to it. Also, some people have been posting stuff like this, for example, like the Love and Deep Space one, because if you don't know, Love and Deep Space has a feature for women to essentially, yeah, track their periods and stuff on the actual game. Which again is obviously all consensual and they've signed up to it themselves to do that, and some people actually use it, right? Which again, you know, they can do what they want, and of course it's with their own kind of you know, consent and stuff doing that. But obviously this website is completely different because they've done it completely without their consent or whatever, or asking them if it's okay to do that, and they've just essentially put it up. But essentially they're saying like, oh hey, you know, is it okay because Love and Deep Space, you know, with the Love and Deep Space one, they're saying, oh, you're so sweet, and then they're saying with this one, hello human resources, saying that hey, you know, it's like different. But yeah, it is different. I don't know if that's trying to make fun of it and trying to make a joke of saying like, hey, you know, how are these two different? I don't know, but again, I hope that that is like actually what it means and what they're actually trying to display there, saying that hey, this is actually worse because, you know, they haven't consented to this, which I think is crazy. People saying the difference is probably that in the game you consent to having your period tracked and say no reasonable answers allowed, only silly ones, which yeah, obviously I think they're just trying to make a joke, right? And yeah, I think it is obviously very, very odd. There's been a lot of different quote retweets and stuff of people you know, pulling up their page or whatever, finding out what they've found out about them, right? And they're saying not on it, it's like you don't even care. Say, bro, just ask me about it. So yeah, obviously some people saying like, hey, you know, just ask me and I'll tell you, right? Like, I don't care. Obviously, yeah, as we saw with Shikai, they are not very happy with this. Some people making fun of Niara, saying why isn't Niara showing up in it? Yeah, pretty crazy. Say which one of you did it? Saying yeah, obviously Akaskala is also there too. And again, it doesn't matter if it's like a big VTuber or a small one. It seems like a lot of people are in this, right? And you got people like Vixie as well saying, yo, I was included for once. You know, again, I'm not sure if this is like one person who has actually gone out of their way to do every single page on each of these VTubers, or if this is like some kind of community-based thing where like some people are tracking their favorite ones and their favorite VTubers and making pages for their favorite VTubers. I'm not sure how big of a scale this goes, or if this is just a small scale thing where it was just one guy that was being weird and managed to just go through every single VTuber, you know, who's saying, who put me on here, weirdo, joke's on you because you did it wrong. So it's like, yeah, mine is irregular, so it can't be tracked, which obviously, yeah, some people are different whenever it comes to this kind of stuff. And yeah, people like, who needs to know this level of information? Like, this is actually, you know, this is, I hate living in this era. Saying I found myself on there, said I want to be put on this website. Some people want to be put on this website, which is crazy. You know, obviously we saw squchan's response. People like said, don't do this, even if women were cool with them knowing, making assumptions about their health and emotional states and linking it to their cycle, then tracking that publicly is sexist and creepy as hell. So yeah, as I said, very, 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 very mixed responses, right? It is crazy, you know, the difference in a lot of VTubers. You know, as I said, some VTubers say, you know, jokes on them, I'm infertile, this is weird. It's extremely dangerous in the US to even pretend you have this information, you know, saying, you know, what the hell, it ended on the 25th, no way. So some people are getting it right as well, which, as I said, you know, some people dislike it, some people like it, some people just find it funny or don't care. It is very, very much in the middle. But me personally, you know, obviously I'm a dude at the end of the day, so you know, I can't really say too much on it in terms of like, oh, I think this is bad or I think this is good. It honestly depends on what the women think about this, right? But I do think it is a bit creepy, like, at least from my perspective and my opinion from the outside. I think it is creepy, but obviously, as I said, people have different opinions on this kind of stuff. And you got Spirited saying, maybe I'm insane for saying this, but I find this super weird and creepy. I get that we have men's mental health problems that many don't want to talk about. I also get that men are lonely, but this is just creepy, which, yeah. Again, as I said, I don't know what people really want to do with this information, right? People saying, why is there an observations section that documents my tweets of woman whore with time and date? Saying, what the hell, this is so messed up, this is disgusting and creepy, what is wrong with people? You know, you got Powder saying, what? And obviously, yeah, she's on there as well. And as I said, it is a large amount of VTubers that are on there, right? It's not small, it's not big, it's like, it's everyone, it's literally everyone. Most people, obviously some people were missing out, as we saw with some of the tweets, right? But yeah, people saying this is disgusting beyond creepy, which, you know, people saying literally saying, what the actual hell? Which, again, I do think it is very, very odd, very, very creepy. And yeah, I don't even know who owns this site or whatever, but maybe some people are going to try and find out, because again, it is insane. It is insane that this is even a thing, right? But yeah, I mean, that is essentially all there is for this video. I just kind of wanted to go through some of the reactions from people to this, because this has been blowing up in the last couple of hours, right? It's only uploaded this morning and it's on 2 million views. So again, a lot of people, yeah, having mixed reactions to this. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this and what you guys think about this entire website. Do you think it's creepy? Do you think, you know, it's funny? Do you think it's whatever? I don't know. Me personally, I think it's very creepy. It's very, very odd. And I don't think this person is trying to do it for a laugh. I feel like this person is doing it in a pretty odd way, right? And I think that is about it, right? But yeah, that's about all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go over to GameStop, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.